We're good. Okay. Welcome to Thunder Nerds. I'm Brian Hinton.
I'm Sarah Vassilov.
And I'm Project Philip Von Weiss, and thank you for consuming the Thunder Nerds, a conversation with the people behind the technology that love what they do.
And do tech good.
We're doing tech good. Hey guys, we're here at Devfest Florida 2019, Brian.
Yeah, in Orlando.
At the Oviedo Mall.
Sarah's favorite mall, by the way. There's a cute pair of boots in the store, and she's going to get them.
She is.
Probably,
This is
most
probably
likely.
Definitely.
Yeah. We're here with Jenell Pizarro.
Hi.
Jenell! Oh, we're so happy to have you.
I missed you all.
Yeah, we missed you.
Mm. Did you have a hard time not saying your name at the intro?
Kind of, yeah, I did. I was like, oh, not me. Okay.
What have you been up to lately?
Panicking a lot, really, mostly.
Right.
Because talk, right? But more than that, changing my hair
I love
a lot
your
of
hair. It's
times.
beautiful. Super cute.
Working. Thank you. I'm only fishing for compliments. No big deal. But yeah, no, definitely working and doing a lot of UX and a lot of roller skating. And, yeah.
Oh,
dancing on roller skates.
I know, right?
Why don't we talk about your new position?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and so where are you working at now, and what do you do there?
So I currently work at Capco. I am a UX consultant. So essentially, I yell at CSS all day, which is really wonderful.
Somebody needs to.
I know, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's like it loves me, and then sometimes it doesn't, and it's a love, slightly dislike, and then love relationship.
Well, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So what does that entail? Like, what do you do in that position? What's your day-to-day like? What do you actually like do?
Yeah.
What's the meat of that?
So essentially, like with the UX consultancy at Capco, you get different projects, right? So you're on a project for a certain amount of time, and then you get pivoted to another project. So it's essentially like, we just need you for this amount of time so that it's not on fire, and then you move on to the next thing, right? Yeah, it's really cool. It's almost like you're saving things constantly.
You're a hero.
Yeah, I mean, it was really great. It's pretty wonderful. I know.
Yes, heroin. Oh, that should be a title.
It could be, right?
Yeah.
There's, by the way, a complete side note. There is a superhero called La Boriqueña, which is it's a Puerto Rican superhero. Fun fact. So, she only helps Puerto Ricans in danger, which I think is like pretty amazing. It's an actual thing. It's a canon, actual thing. It's amazing.
Love it.
I know. But, yeah. So essentially, like we save, help, or create solutions for financial institutions, which is pretty awesome. And in that, I've been able to lead a couple of teams, which is pretty exciting. So I've been able to lead a really amazing team.
Do you wear like a captain hat when you do it?
Specifically only a captain hat, yeah. And it's really big to cover all of my hair. So it's really nice. And it yeah.
Oh, sorry. So what you're talking about today?
Ooh, okay. So I love it. So my talk is about it's called Leading Lady. And it's about leading a team with happiness. Ooh. So I know, right? So I really feel that the best part of me leading, when I learned how to lead, because you kind of get thrown into it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I did at least. So I got thrown into it, and I realized that in the state that the project was in, what it needed more than anything was that someone to be happy and to be there for the team, right? And I found that that works not only with this project but other projects that have come up afterwards, right? So they need people that are just willing to support everybody, right? Rather than just commanding, right? Because that kind of sucks, right? When you have a leader who's just I need you to do this, and this, and then they check up on you every 12 seconds, and you're like, well, I mean, I was typing, but then you talked to me and now I'm not typing.
Yeah.
So the status is nothing happened between that time that you talked to me and now. So yeah, I kind of want to just be able to say, hey, you can lead and be yourself, right? And be a happy, go lucky person. You to be if you're having a sad day, you can have a sad day and just be open and honest with your team members.
That's a big important part about management. I think that a lot of people don't get. They hear manager and they think, oh, I just got to tell people what to do. I'm the boss. I'm in charge. And it's much more about showing everybody it's okay to be vulnerable and supporting them through that.
Absolutely.
So yeah, totally.
I love that. Yeah, that's for sure it. Like, you just want to be there for them and be human, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of the times too, like, we get managers that have been doing this so long, right? Like, we get they're in a rigmarole, if you will, right?
Sure.
And we don't have those fresh eyes of like, wow, like, this is a living, breathing organism, right? Like, a team is a living, breathing thing, and
Yeah.
and they're amazing and wonderful and unique in every single like way, right? Like, no team is exactly the same, and every person on that team is not exactly the same, right? And they all
Hopefully.
have different things,
If you hired right, then
right?
it'll be the same.
Yeah, and they're just
Yeah.
wonderful
Yeah.
people, and you want to build them up, right? And by building them up, they build you up.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
It's
a
really
relationship,
beautiful.
like a family.
Yeah, it's so wonderful. And I mean, I have to shout out my team a lot because they are just incredible. Honestly, like, I 100% wouldn't be where I am today as a developer if it weren't for them, you know?
And I'm sure you learned so much from them to that.
Yes.
It's an experience both ways.
Yeah, for sure. They're so great. I love being able to have, so for example, I had a team member who was very much a rubber ducker, right? So like, he would ask questions and then kind of expect you to ask questions back that may or may not really make sense, right? They're just asking questions back so that he could get to the answer, right? And that was a way for me to understand things as well. Like, okay, what is he actually asking, right?
Yeah.
What is the root problem that he's asking or like having? What is he trying to say, right? And from there, I was able to be like, okay, my communication might be a little off. I might be saying something incorrectly. Maybe I gave him a task that might be too hard. So maybe I need to pair program with him, right? Like, there's like, it's a way to like be like, okay, cool. Like, now I understand what he's actually asking. And now I know from me, like my side, like what I can do, right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty nice.
And how long have you been working on this talk that you're doing?
Yeah. So I've been working on this talk for
A couple hours, days, weeks?
Maybe a couple months. So yeah, it's been a couple months, and it's made like a couple of transitions, right? So
Oh, okay.
yeah. So
Have you practiced it before, like at
Yeah.
at a meetup or something?
I did practice it at ODevs. So
Sweet.
it had a different kind of look on it at ODevs. And ODevs is one of the sponsors for this event, which is pretty cool. So yeah, it was more of like, how do you take the lead, right? Rather than like being like happy, you know, with the lead and being okay with yourself and things like that. It was just, how do you do this? How does one get thrown into the gauntlet basically and survive on the other side?
Let me ask you, it's a very specific topic. What was the genesis of this? Like, did you have an experience that made you go, you know what, I need to talk about this because I haven't had this in the past and I could help a lot of people. Like what?
Yeah. So I think what came out of this talk essentially was I never really seen a lot of female leads, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even now, like, I am the only female lead in Orlando at my company for tech, right? And you know, I want to make sure that like, you know, other people see like, hey, women can lead too, like especially women who don't like look like everybody else, right? Like, you know, somebody who, you know, might have pink hair, right? Or somebody who might, you know, have like autism, or somebody who, you know, is just way different than anybody else that's in leadership, right? Like, they can lead too, whether they're women, whether they're people of color, no matter what they are, they can lead as well. And I feel like, you know, for me, I've made a different kind of leader. And it's been kind of awesome, and I've really enjoyed it. And I know that like the best leaders that I've had have also been women. And I wanted to share that with other people, right? Like, hey, women are awesome and they can lead too, and they're amazing. And, you know, everybody's amazing. And like, look at how awesome the diversity is in like your leadership. You're going to get a better product out of it, right? Like,
Absolutely.
You're going to grow better. So,
Yeah, there's just so many different ideas and things that we could pull from everyone, rather than just pulling from like, you know, the way it's been done. It's
Down with bro.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think there is a
Balance it, of course.
yeah, there needs to be a balance of people who just everybody needs to think differently, right? Everybody needs to have a common goal, of course, but you all need to have different perspectives, because if you don't have different perspectives, you're never going to reach that goal, right?
Yeah,
Like,
the same thing with like a lot of companies now are hiring, for example, UX designers that are not just 20 years old. They're, you know, they might be in their late 50s or early 60s.
yeah.
You know, and this, you know, this person has a different understanding of these products and could provide that experience with their age group too in a very specific way. So it's really important to diversify not only leadership, your employees, everyone in your company to get a full understanding of the real world.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the really great things too is like seeing junior devs who are not, you know, straight out of college.
Yeah.
Like, that makes me so happy because they're like second or third career devs, right? So like, you know, they might have had, you know, an accounting position before, or they might have been chefs before, and then their third career is development, and then they like come to this, you know, company and they have all of this insight, and you're like, wow, I didn't even think of it that way. And like you learned how to code maybe a year ago, and you're like amazing, right? Like I love that. Like
shout out to Suncoast Developer Guild.
Yeah, they're amazing. They're so cool with that, right? Like it's so amazing to see those second, third career devs just come up. They're so awesome, and I wish there were more of them. You know, I wish we hired more of them. Like just not only at Capco, but everywhere, right? Like they're so cool.
Yeah, that's a whole topic of its own, really. Like the fact that you know, juniors, we expect people to have tons of experience, but if it's your third career, you're a junior. You don't have tons of experience, but you have knowledge that you could bring.
Yeah, you do have experience. It's just not necessarily like map filter reduce experience, right? Like,
yeah.
Like you came from the medical industry.
Yeah, 9 years in healthcare.
That's amazing. Wow, I didn't know that.
I know. How do we not know
Right?
that?
Like
seriously, how do we not know that?
At all.
Brian, we just don't care about
Just
you.
don't care.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we don't
pretty
care
much.
about
Yeah.
I knew that because I care about you.
Oh, things are switching.
Wow.
I'm
This is getting
confused.
weird. This is getting really weird. That Frederick cares.
I do.
Somebody.
It's the first time he said something nice to me. Oh,
Yeah.
rage now.
This is true.
I'm so
That's
sorry.
it for today. So what do you want people to walk away with when after they hear you talk? What's the big value that they should get from this?
I think the big value is 1, hire more women, and 2, hire more women in leadership positions. And then after that, when you've hired women and you've hired women that, you know, in leadership roles, then hire people who don't look like you, right? Because you've already hired women and you're amazing at it. And now you're like, hey, what do I look like? How do I think? Let me hire people who don't think like me, who don't necessarily look like me, right? And then I think that's a good takeaway, right? Like hire people because they're amazing, right?
Yeah.
Like that's it.
I love that.
Yeah, thank you for putting together a talk and doing the talk, and we appreciate all the speakers.
Yeah,
and taking the time to talk to us too.
Yay!
Just so everybody can find you, where should they go to find out more about you, Jenell?
Oh, okay. So Twitter is my that's where I'm at all the time.
Me too.
Nellaro, Nellaro. It's the beginning and last of my name, which is pretty great.
I like that.
Yeah, I know. And then basically Nellaro, or like Slack if you're you know, here in Orlando. I'm Jenell on the Slack channel. So yeah, Jenell.
Nice.
That's me.
Love it. Anybody else?
No, good.
Great. Well, yeah, again, as Brian said, thank you so much. Really
Yay.
appreciate you joining us.
Of course.
Thanks everybody for watching. We got a lot more Devfest coming up.
Doodles.
Noodles.